Hi everyone, this is week 4 of MPA 594. We're going to be focusing on the difference between public and private education. These are the two agencies that I chose. So the main concepts that I wanted to focus throughout this PowerPoint were in Allison, where he discusses the POS Corp, Woodrow Wilson, the dichotomy, and Frederick Taylor, the scientific management, and Max Weber, the hierarchy of authority. So my main focus was between the charter schools and the public schools. Charter schools are considered to be also funded by the public, but a lot of their funding comes from the community organizations that are within the community to help sponsor them. Public schools get all their funding from government, federal funding. So my main focus was to kind of be able to break it down with the POS Corp. And Gulick explains to us that everybody, no matter what type of agency, we tend to focus on doing things very similar. A lot of people may not understand the actual order of it, but we do it automatically. Regardless of what we tend to get into, if we're trying to plan and organize some type of project, we have to be able to use the POS Corp. So most of us understand the POS Corp. It's planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting. I think this circle is very important to any type of agency or public school or nonprofit. They kind of give us a guideline of how things should be. So I wanted to get into the hierarchy of authority. School districts rely on the hierarchy of authority. Weber explains to us that it's important for us to have that person in charge to be able to guide us and let us know what is important. And within the school districts, you have the teachers, the students follow the teachers, and the teachers report to the principals, and the principals report to the superintendents in the public schools. But in the charter schools, you have, the teachers report to, it could be the principal, but their system is completely different. Just their standards are completely different, and the way that they work, because their funding comes through the community, so they work with whatever they have at the moment for the school year. So the hierarchy of authority is really important in this matter, and I think that it fits for both agencies. When we talk about the two other theorists, which is Taylor and Wilson, scientific management and dichotomy, Wilson focused a lot on, the separation of, politics and administration, but the dichotomy also it comes into the school districts because my understanding with the school districts is that they're separate. They're separate from the city. They follow different types of regulations because the schools report to the districts, and the districts, if it needs to go to the higher ups, then depending on the issue, then it goes to the city. But the districts are their own entities, and they work it out the way that they must. Um, there, we can't separate the two. I think they have to kind of work together. in order for the schools to combine. And the reason I brought Taylor into this is that scientific management explains to us how things need to work in a systematic way in order for them to be efficient. In the school districts, you have public schools that could be a little bit more efficient in the way that they do things. The problem is that there's so many struggles with how they run because funding can be distributed to a low income school and a high income school, and the high income school may have more resources, better computers, better libraries, which allows them to score a little bit higher on their standardized testing versus in the public school, in the poor area, they might not have such a good library or poor computers, poor technology, so their accessibility to resources is minimal, which their standards will be lower, so they might not receive the funding that they need in order to provide that efficiency necessary for it to run better. And to end my presentation, I wanted to kind of incorporate federalism and how the state and the national level come together in order for our school districts to work more efficiently. I think it's important for our federal government to look at how can we incorporate all these different theories into one and be able to have this standard where um, agencies are able to focus a little bit more. For example, in the school districts or in just public education, where we have that funding available to be able to meet those standards uh, and have high scores, but to make them more rounded students versus just studying throughout the whole year to meet that standardized test in order to get that funding. There needs to be more entities for them to receive the funding so that they can be uh, more successful. So again, I think we need to tie everything together and be able to work together with all these theories and make our education better. Thank you, and I will be happy to read your comments. Have a great day.